Now, the UK is heading towards Victorian levels of inequality, according to a report on boardroom salaries. The High Pay Commission, which was set up by a centre-left think tank, says the widening gap between the highest and lowest earners is damaging trust in business. Well, let's get more from Chris Roebuck from the Cass Business School, who joins us now from our Millbank studio. Chris, thanks for joining us. What do you make of this?
It's very interesting. There are effectively two questions here. There's the moral question, which is, do we think it's right for one individual to get more in 1 year than a nurse or a soldier in Afghanistan in the lifetime? And then there's the business issue, which is, are these increases reflected in improvements in business performance? And if you look at the figures, the answer is probably not.
So how are they getting away with it?
The process by which a chief executive can get an increase in pay could quite easily be by improving the performance of their organisation, but equally it could be by employing recruitment or pay consultants to go out and find another chief executive who's actually earning more, then use that as a justification to the non-executive directors and remuneration committee to say, I deserve more pay, and then hope when the more pay issue reaches the shareholders, less than a majority object to it. And so therefore, many chief executives are being paid on the basis of comparison, not performance.
And that, I suppose, can't always be seen as fair by people who work within those organisations where you're not really, employed based on comparison, are you?
Well, to put it bluntly, if an employee went up to the chief executive and said, I found an employee in a competitor who's paid more than I am, can I have more money? I suspect the chief executive would answer very shortly, no, you can't.
I suspect so, absolutely. I mean, what do you think the answer is, Chris, to this?
The answer is quite clear. It's more transparency. It's tougher remuneration committees. It's non-executive directors who are not frightened of being sacked next year if they push back against the chief executive. And maybe it's about saying on executive remuneration we need a 2/3 majority of shareholders to pass the resolution. And if we look at the international figures, the business community says we would lose our best people. The point is, if those people are best performing in terms of their companies on a global comparison, fair enough. But there are a lot of organisations in this country whose chief executives are working on the coattails of the best performers who aren't actually performing that well themselves. And if we lost some of them, it probably wouldn't do us much harm.
OK, Chris Roebuck, interesting to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed.